right, so we're getting some breaking news updates right now before we go ahead with the big inauguration there. Now, the Farooq Abdullah has been summoned by ED. That's the latest we can tell you at this moment. Farooq Abdullah is going to face ED heat. He has been summoned by ED on May 31st. Farooq Abdullah summoned by ED now. Enforcement Directorate's eye on Farooq Abdullah. What we can tell you is that May 31st is the date when Farooq Abdullah will now be summoned by ED. I would like to go across to Shravan, who's getting us more on this breaking development. Shravan.
In fact, Shivangi, we're given to understand that former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Farooq Abdullah, has now been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate. He's been asked to appear before the agency in Srinagar on 31st of May. Remember, he's been under the scanner in the Jammu and Kashmir Cricket Association scam. This is not the first time that Farooq Abdullah has been called in for questioning by the Enforcement Directorate. In the past too, he has, to which he has essentially responded saying that this is a fake case that has been registered by the Enforcement Directorate, saying that there is no scam to begin with. The major allegation that has been leveled against Farooq Abdullah is with regards to certain transactions that were taking place in the Jammu and Kashmir Cricket Association while he was at the helm of affairs, and more importantly that there were certain sanctions that were actually given by Farooq Abdullah himself. Now that's the allegation that has been leveled against the former Chief Minister.
Right. Shravan, like you said, this is not the first time that he has been questioned. Earlier, he has, in fact, himself questioned by the ED in the case several times. These are various cases earlier where ED had, in fact, attached his properties.
Well, in fact, this probe has been going on for a few years now. In fact, not just the Enforcement Directorate, the Central Bureau of Investigation has also been looking into this entire case for quite some time. The allegations are with regards to several of the members of the Cricket Association. In fact, they are also talking about how funds were basically received by the Jammu and Kashmir Cricket Association scam that was essentially diverted for other purposes. In fact, in terms of certain infrastructure projects where we're given to understand that the money was finally diverted. It remains to be seen whether at all Farooq Abdullah is going to appear before the Enforcement Directorate on 31st of May when he's been asked to appear.
Right, Shravan. Okay, so Shravan, if you could just take us through exactly the past cases, in fact, where ED has, in fact, asked him to appear. We know this is one case you're talking about. Take us through all the other cases, because like we were talking about earlier, Shravan, that Farooq Abdullah has also questioned ED again and again and questioned them whenever the ED has raised a concern over him.
Well, as far as the allegations that have been leveled by Farooq Abdullah against the Enforcement Directorate, this has essentially been on the fact that these are politically motivated cases that have been registered against Farooq Abdullah to begin with. And secondly, with regards to whether at all this entire case basically stands before the court. Remember, the charge sheet is yet to be filed, and whether at all he's going to be named. The CBI, on the other hand, has already filed an FIR and thereafter a charge sheet in this entire matter where Farooq Abdullah has already been named by the central agency. As far as the Enforcement Directorate is concerned, they are looking at the money trail as far in this entire case, whether at all there are companies that have been linked to Farooq Abdullah and whether they are the ones who have been the ultimate beneficiary. For the Enforcement Directorate, it would be important to find out who's the ultimate beneficiary as far as how the funds were diverted.